Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. Today's video is sponsored by Teila Bas Basia. She should be blessed in all of her endeavors, and Hashem should open up all of the revealed good blessings upon her. Today we're going to be speaking about a beautiful idea about, again, continuing on upon what we were developing upon what we introduced yesterday, the idea of simcha, joy, and how joy is directly connected to the coming Mashiach. To understand this, we're going to talk about some Hasidic and Kabbalistic ideas to talk about simcha. And what we spoke about yesterday is that simcha, joy, happiness, opens up the chokhmah, opens up the mind, sharpens you. When you're in a good mood, you learn much better. You understand the Torah, you're learning much deeper than if you're in a, God forbid, the opposite of a good mood. When you're happy, you're humble, you're refined. When a person is in a good mood, they're easier going, they're more giving. So, of course, we know that everything we do down here, Hashem reflects it above. And when we are happy down here, Hashem acts with us in a happy way. And of course, since when we're happy, we're more easygoing. So to speak, Hashem, when we're happy, Hashem's more easygoing with us. Because we know that when we're happy and we appreciate what Hashem does for us, Hashem gives us far more to be appreciative about. This is about gratitude. Gratitude is very connected to happiness. When a person is feeling grateful, when they're appreciating what they have, naturally they're very happy. Why? Because what does it mean to be happy? To be excited about your present moment, and even deeper than that, to feel happiness is an emotion. And when you're happy, you're enjoying the state of being that you're in right now. So when you're grateful for what Hashem is giving you, you're happy because you feel like you've been given a charity from Hashem. You've been given more than you deserve. And what we have to always internalize and live with and really absorb is the fact that Hashem always gives us far more than we deserve. Let's say imagine you go to the bank and you deposit a check for $1,000. The bank says, "Sir, we're going to give you $2,500, $2,500. And you say, "Mr. Bank Manager, why are you doing, thank you so much, but this check is only $1,000. Why are you doing this?" And the bank manager says, "We're in a good mood, we just want to give. Here, take." Obviously, you'd feel extremely excited. You'd feel very happy. Why? Because whenever something goes even better than you could have expected, and you feel like you've been given more than what you expected, it causes a reaction of happiness in the brain and the body. And that, and how much more so should we remember that everything, life at large, is a gift from God. We did not deserve to be born. We did not earn being born, but rather Hashem gave us the gift of life to be involved in His mission, to be direct partners in the coming of Mashiach and the actualization of the Torah in the world and bringing godliness into the world, meaning God chose each and every one of us to be able to draw and reveal Him into the world. And we are giving Hashem a gift. The gift that Hashem is giving us is the ability to give back Hashem a gift. That is something that is beyond imagination, the intensity of the pleasure that God feels when we serve Him, and in turn what we're going to feel in the days of Mashiach and what we can tap into already now when we serve Him. Develop on these ideas, because we spoke about a lot of topics here. Another way through Chassidus to get excited about Hashem, to get happy, to feel grateful towards Hashem. And first of all, just to get into this point, to develop on what I just said, is when you're grateful beyond measure, when you're happy for what Hashem has given you, even when it doesn't really make sense to be happy, when things seemingly are difficult, but you're yet happy, Hashem is going to give you infinite more reasons to be happy, because He appreciates your effort to be happy and to be appreciative and to be humble and grateful. So Chassidus teaches us another way to really expand our happiness is explained by the Alter Rebbe in chapter 9 of Tanya, where by thinking and meditating and contemplating, in Hebrew the word is lehitbonen, hitbonenut, which means deep reflection and thought about the greatness of Hashem, the beauty and the majesty of Hashem, and the holiness and the really the purity that God is. And when you think about it, it causes you a joy to realize who we're dealing with. That, of course, any thought we have of Hashem is only just a ray, is only just a glimpse into God, into God's infinite light, but yet it's still a connection, it's still real, it's still godliness. It is still godliness in our minds. And we can always expand, and it is a God communicating with us. So when we think about, when we reflect upon the majesty and the holiness and the beauty and the greatness of God, how powerful and infinite and removed He is from the world, and yet He's within the world, naturally our hearts are going to be rejoiced and are going to be exhumed with happiness because and infumed with joy, because the whole point of why we're put in this world is to serve God and to get to know God, to get to know our Master, that us, a holy spark of God, our soul is a holy spark of God, has been put in a body filled with flesh, an animalistic body of flesh. And the point is to teach this animalistic body of flesh to know God. And in truth, that is what our body really desires. When your body tastes God, tastes godliness, it doesn't really want anything else. At first, our body wants to eat a lot, and wants to drink, and wants to sleep, and wants to do physicality, be involved in physicality. Once your body gets to know a bit about God, he starts to, so to speak, to be crazy about God, for lack of a better word, to be obsessed with God. And this is actually shtus de kedusha, which means the craziness of holiness, the foolishness of holiness, that we with this thinking about God through thought, we rise to an even higher level of being happy about God beyond even logic. Another way to really experience happiness because we just, right now we touched upon how through Bina, through understanding, you could really feel pleasure. That we learn in Chassidus that the main experience of happiness is in the sphere of Bina. Because the sphere of Chokhmah is beyond. That is a level of intellect that is even beyond understanding. It's a very pleasurable level, but is beyond the level of happiness yet, so to speak. It's when you just get a flash of an idea before you understand the details. Once you understand an idea very deeply, for example, when you're trying to understand a deep concept and it's not making sense to you, then it makes sense to you. That moment is very, very pleasurable. That is the experience of godliness in the sphere of Bina. It's a very enjoyable feeling. So by learning more chassidus, learning more and more, you get to experience that pleasure more and more. You're going to find out what triggers that pleasure within you. And now, to this final point that I want to say of another way to experience pleasure is through having faith in God, having emunah and bitachon, trusting in God. That even when things don't necessarily seem so comfortable or seem so rejoiceable about, but yet you choose to be happy and say, look, God, I trust you. You're running the world. The world is nullified to you. The world is surrendered to you. And even if something seems difficult, at the end of the day, you're running the show and you can fix anything. Not everything is irrelevant in comparison to you. So surely you can, through me placing my trust in you and involving myself with you, you can fix everything for me. And by literally trusting and knowing that everything is going to be okay, that is also a very happy feeling. And even when things are good, to say they're going to get even better. And even, when you're, even simple things like working in business, trusting God, you're going to bring me a lot of customers, you're going to help me make a lot of money to serve you. This is a pleasurable thing. So we spoke about a few different steps. One, being happy to serve Hashem. Being happy beyond and grateful beyond logic. Being happy because God is the one, because God has given me so much, and being happy because He's going to give me more, and not with a level that's a level beyond understanding. Two, thinking about God, that it goes into your sphere of Bina, that it goes into your intellect, understanding topics about God. For example, the Alter Rebbe explains, for example, that all of reality is just a single thought of God, a single letter of God's thought, and even that thought compared to God's entire being is irrelevant entirely. Even the highest levels of heaven, the highest levels of reality that we can't even describe with words, are just a single letter of God's thought. That these things get us very excited. And the third point is, we said, trusting in God, having simple faith and trust in God that everything is going to be good. May Hashem bless you all. May we take all of these messages to our hearts and may experience the true happiness with the coming of Mashiach.